Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another chapter review on Dear Anonome? Anonome? I can't say it. Dear Anemone, I believe is what it is. It is a series that is brand new. Can't even see that, can you? Brand new on Shonen Jump. Not sponsored by them, so you can find it anywhere you want, to be honest. But there's 3 chapters out, so they are free right now in Shonen Jump. I do pay for Shonen Jump, so I will be reading them nonetheless. This is definitely a series that started off pretty intense in the first chapter. Second chapter, still intense, not as much, but we do have the sense of survival. Um, uh, the last scene in the first chapter, which I thought was a huge massacre, is explained in this chapter, which wasn't a huge massacre. I just assumed it was. So, oh well. It is what it is. Before anything, guys, if you haven't checked out my first chapter review, go check it out. Also, comment, like, and share on this video because that helps tremendously. Not just for the video, but for my channel in general as well. So make sure you guys are doing that, and also make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to my channel as well. There's a lot of people that are watching, just not subscribing. So please do subscribe, especially if this is not your first video. You're back for a reason, right? So make sure you do subscribe. I am in a different classroom, so it looks kind of different. Ignore this. Ignore this. But it is what it is. Just haven't recorded in a while, and I really needed to record. So this is chapter 2 again of Dear Anemone. So the chapter starts off with a summary of the story. Essentially, they're in the Galapagos Island where Darwin was, and essentially things have gone wrong. Right? There's been experiments that have been done there, things that went wrong, and essentially we have these humanoid monsters that are killing people left and right, or so it seemed. This evolution type of plant like creature has decided to take our protagonist as a host and use him to get to the laboratory. Now, she basically saved everyone but one person. One person got eaten in the first chapter. I thought it was 3 of them that got eaten, but they weren't. So she protected them. She tells them that she's unable to be mobile, but through feeding his blood, she's quenched her thirst, and now she wants to be able to evolve again. So what does this mean? Well, they have a whole conversation about it. Like, what does this mean about her wanting and getting to evolve? Well, the conversation basically, or what she wants to do, is get to the laboratory and create another explosion so that she can re-evolve. Now, we get this whole like background feedback after this that one of their missions for them is to retrieve the information in the lab. So that's actually their main mission. The mission of rescuing, survivors was kind of like a second thought, even though for a lot of these people this is kind of like their main mission. So anyways, he goes along with it and everyone else does as well, and it's very simple why. It's they say no, what's going to happen? She's going to kill him, right? So well, what can they do? They the only thing they can do is try to survive and continue ordering. So going, right. So they find themselves essentially in this almost stalemate, trying to figure out how can we convince her that killing everyone and making another second explosion might not be the best idea. Because one, yeah, you might get your chance of evolving, but other creatures might also evolve. And then three, well, there's a lot of people that don't want to die in the island, right? So she explains about the monsters of this world and how they themselves have evolved to survive in this world. And our protagonist during all this time is just thinking about his friend, hoping that he is still alive. So we're We don't know much about it, but we are hoping that he is still alive. He's the little guy with curly hair. And then right in that moment, the two companions that he is with are taken down by some squid tentacle looking things. And the plant thing is like completely distracted. She's like, "Oh look, there's the lab," and he's like, "No, like my friends got captured. They got taken underwater." And he's like, "Well, what does that matter to me? Like, I I'm here for the lab, right?" And he's like, "Well, too bad. Like I don't think that they're worth nothing." Like she makes this whole speech about like you have to put your priorities. Like they're worth nothing at this point. And he's like, no, it's not a waste. They're worth something. So he throws himself into the water, and that's how the chapter ends. Is him essentially trying to reach this weird tentacle-looking octopus, and the tentacle girl basically going like having this mad face of like, what the heck are we doing underwater? So yeah, it seems like she definitely is not going to kill at least the host because at the end of the day, she needs him, right? To get her to the lab. So there's at least that mutual understanding. Um, Past that, I don't know what more he has under his wing, under what's the right wording? Like he might not have much to have control, I guess. Other than like I'm your host. Without me, you can't move, right? Obviously, she could find a different host, but um, I guess we'll have to see from now to then. So there is one more chapter out that released this Sunday, so I'm excited to read it and release it for you guys. I've been releasing this one, I think on Wednesdays or Fridays, replacing one of the other series that unfortunately have stopped releasing stuff. So hopefully they'll eventually come back. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel, give some love for comment, liking, and sharing, and I will see you guys next time. Like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.